Hello, this is my blog for lesson 4, physical theatre, and this entire lesson was about states of the body. And for example, we had melting, we had freezing, all sort of almost like liquid gas states, and we had to play them. And the first thing that we'd start off doing was we had to play them through moving on the floor, through standing there, and we had to play the state of it. So, say we got water and we had to play what we thought water would be like. Move on the round on the floor like water, stand up like water. And we'd play what we thought that we saw water, and then we'd get freeze, and we had to see what we thought freeze entailed through using our bodies. And I think this was a lot helpful because it made us visualise something very abstract, and I think that was what the whole point of the lesson was, visualising something very abstract. I mean, freezing is quite abstract. It's quite abstract to embody, and I think when you do embody it, it helps you a lot more. It helps you a lot more be physically aware and know what you're actually trying to do with your body when you're trying to create an abstract. So I think this helps us with World War One a lot, because there's going to be a lot of abstract movements that you're going to have to use. So death, rather than just somebody dying, it can be very abstract, or fighting, it can be very abstract. And I think using something as simple as freezing, something as simple as water, something as simple as gas, melting, all these things they're extremely simple. Think about them, so melting, you just use your body and you just sort of fall, and you fall sort of gracefully. And with freezing, your body's extremely caught up together. You embody that, what you can imagine the process of water freezing would be. And I think with that, so you imagine the process of death, which would help us with the World War One. So I think using a lot of simple ideas like freezing, melting, water, were the reasons we've done that. Then we moved on to a paired exercise in which we both had to play states, and both had to play sort of a state. And me and Harrison went for, I was melting, Harrison was freezing, and we done this as contact because this helped extremely, because it helped us, two people at the same time doing abstract movements. So because I'm in a group with Paris, this helped us out. This helped me out extremely much because it gave us a chance to experiment what it was like doing abstract movements for two people. And I think me and Harrison experimented with, instead of actually using any sort of form of touching, we would use it without actually touching at all. And also we tried playing each other's states, so we'd swap midway through. So we'd done the improvisation, then midway through we'd swap. And this was extremely helpful, as it gave me the chance to visualise what being abstract with Paris would be able to achieve, and what it would be achieved if we didn't touch, and how effective that was. And it gave us a chance to experiment that idea of not touching and see if it did work. And then when we got feedback from the class, they all did say they enjoyed the fact that we didn't use any movement together. We had little or no contact with each other, and I think that was what made it so good. So I think after doing that improvisation, I understand that the best way to go about it would be when me and Paris do simple states like death, and we want to embody it abstract, then less or no physical contact is probably going to be best, because that's what people seem to enjoy about a performance the most, me and Harrison. But and the warm-up prior to this was extremely helpful, because it gave us the chance to loosen our bodies, and it gave us the chance to be able to be very physically through. I mean, I think that's what we do with every lesson. Whenever we do a warm-up, we constantly loosen our bodies, keeps us clever, keeps us knowing what we're doing. I think when we did do when we did do the warm-up, we were forced to play a state, so we're playing it, because we always do scales, so bottom of the scale and top of the scale, and then there was things that we were asked to play that would ask to be bottom of the scale or top of the scale. And this is by far the most effective use when we're doing a warm-up, because it literally makes us have to tune into our body straight away. So that means you can't just lack, you can't just, when you're asked to play something and you're walking around, and we started off with literally knowing one route, so we were always walking around the room and we were knowing one route, but I went from one corner to the other and I kept on doing it. And as soon as you asked to play it for a 10, straight away I would I knew what I was doing. I knew my body was in tune. I knew I was in tune. My head was in tune. Everything was ready to do it. And when he was asked for the 10, that means I know what I've got to bring to a performance. When I do it for the real thing with Me in Paris, I've got to bring a 10. And it's most helpful because it probably trains you beforehand. So it's not like you go into it rehearsals with Me in Paris and we think, right, okay, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, and then come out of it and we do the performance and it was a 5. I think if we know the standard of a 10 straight away, and that's the bar that's set every time we do a rehearsal, then we know 10 is what we need to go into the performance for. So I think Me in Paris are well ready for bringing out a 10 and our body and physical movements, and I think using the melting exercise was really helpful because when we do want to do somebody dying or do want to do somebody shot, we're going to use the aspects that we use for melting and freezing and hopefully use that to our benefit. But no, that was blog of lesson 4. But after we'd finished all of our sort of warm-up techniques, we went straight on to rehearsals, but unfortunately Paris wasn't there today. So I was forced to map out my physical objective during the whole thing, and I understood that because what we're doing is very physically movement based of dance, but it isn't actually dance because it does cause us to do a lot of other physical theatre movements inside it. So going to the ground and then getting back up was something we wanted to implement, which we learnt last year about how to get to the ground without losing the least amount of energy, and then getting back up again from that. And I think we're going to utilise that in our performance. So I had to just map out my physical objectives, and that was obviously one of them that I used. And then I was able to knew where my piece was going, knew what my piece was for, and it gave me the chance to properly understand our stimulus materials. So one, we've got a picture of a man looking back in a mirror, an old man looking back in the mirror, and he sees his youth. So it gives us the idea that the war is very old, very dated. And our second piece of stimulus material is Singing in the Rain, which gave us a chance to map out exactly what it meant, with the fact that it's very post both wars, and it's the idea that America want to get this idea of what life used to be like, how gentlemanly and everyone was very sort of upper class, and the male sort of ruled society. I think the film Singing in the Rain, the scene, was almost that trying to recapture what had been lost due to the losing of innocence because of the wars. So we wanted to use that, and also we've got a picture of Germans and English playing football on Christmas Day on World War One. So we wanted to use that in our pieces, showing how they worked together, but then straight away they'd be caused to fight after. And I think this was good, how they just came together for that one night and then they'd begin fighting. It was just like, shows you that the world is made of men, that everyone is human, that we aren't all animals and we aren't all fighting, we're all fighting for one thing. So it gave us good scope to be able to realise that they could come together for that one day, to show them, yeah, we're all humans, this is society. And I think that picture encapsulates our first bit, and also our last piece of stimulus material was a Hitler speech, and it gave me the chance just to quickly realise why we wanted to use the Hitler as the effects of World War One and what it caused, and ultimately causing World War Two. So it gave me the chance to probably map that out and give it to Gavin to see if he understood it, and he did understand it perfectly well. So yeah, that was lesson 4, rehearsal. Thank you.